Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Hi guys, how are you? It's Hannah again. Hope you've been well. Today I'm going to make a Korean style soy sauce braised chicken dish known as Jjimdak. I take a few creative spins, but it largely remains true to its original form. We're using bone-in dark meat chicken thighs and legs and braising them down with potatoes, carrots, and some dried cellophane noodles in a really nice sweet soy sauce braise. So in addition to the chicken, which I'll talk about in a minute, here's basically all we need. Lots of just pantry ingredients for the sauce, and the tapte noodles, which are a sweet potato noodle. So the first thing you want to do is get your dangmyeon or sweet potato noodles rehydrating in a large container of cold water. You just need to keep them in there for 20-30 minutes, and if you remember to, just turn them once in a while, but just leave them in a container like this, and then you can start prepping your other ingredients. So for the potatoes, I mean, really, it's a braised chicken dish, but the potatoes are the star. They just soak up all that great sauce, the noodles as well, and use a little bit of carrot. This is no one's favorite, but it just gets invited because it's really pretty. It adds some nice pop of color to the dish. So the potatoes, the key is to keep them nice and chunky. So these are kind of small today. I would just halve these. And if you have bigger potatoes, maybe quarter them. And here is the veg prep. Depending on your carrot, you can either just cut them up in chunks or do them in kind of a roll cut, as I mentioned. We have the aromatics up here, garlic, some slices of ginger, which we'll keep whole just so we can fish them out easier. These wonderful Jjimdak chilies from my friend Jing. You have to check out her products. They're amazing. Fly by Jing. They're these Sichuan peppers, and they're not, you know, overly hot. They won't blow your head off, but they have a really nice heat, kind of a lingering heat. And of course, if you like it spicier, I would recommend you cut the chilies down to smaller pieces, and the onions, which I just talked about. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the chicken. We're using about 2.5 to 3 pounds today. You can either cut down a small bird or just use dark meat pieces like I'm doing here. There's a lot of controversy between rinsing your chicken and not washing your chicken. I think when it comes to, I do both. When it comes to oven roasting or like high heat cooking, I don't tend to rinse the bird. I just want to keep it as dry as possible. We're cooking the chicken in kind of a two-step process today, where first we're going to blanch the chicken, which is a very Korean technique of kind of removing some of the impurities and that chickeny taste, if you will. And then we're going to introduce the parboiled chicken to the braising sauce. So what I would do, and I've tried this recipe a number of times, is actually remove the skin. Don't worry. Save the skin for an awesome snack for later. That will be the bonus recipe. Using both a kitchen knife and some kitchen shears, I just stripped the skin from the chicken, as well as this excess stuff, which we'll discard. And, you know, there are a couple of bone fragments. You know, it was just nice to remove the skin for not just aesthetics, but I think the ultimate sauce will benefit from being a little leaner and cleaner. Okay, so we have the light changing a bit. I hope this doesn't make too much of a difference. I'm just going to turn on this pot. We're going to use this same pot to both blanch the chicken and also cook the chicken afterwards. So we'll blanch it, rinse it out, and then use the same pot. But I did want to show you how to prep the chicken a little bit further. So we're using dark meat, as I mentioned. The legs, I would love to score them in this fatty part, this meaty part, I should say, not fat, 2 or 3 times, just depending on how big your chicken legs are. It really helps the marinade to really seep in there. Again, I haven't given these chicken their final rinse yet, but they're about to. And here's the rinsed chicken. There's a plate underneath to catch the excess water, just waiting for its time to blanch. Okay, this is the bonus footage I know you're waiting for. Basically, I put the chicken skins down into a pan. You don't need oil, it'll render its own fat. And just try to make it as flat as possible, and sprinkle with a little salt and slowly let it crisp away while we work on the rest of the chicken dish. Work on the sauce next, and it couldn't be easier. Everything gets put straight into one measuring cup, and then I'm going to whisk it up, and then we'll set it aside until the chicken's ready. So first we start with 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of mirin, which looks like I'm running low on, but I think we'll be okay. You can use mirin or sake here. It's a Japanese cooking wine. This is a unique ingredient. It's a Korean oligo. It's kind of like corn syrup. It's not corn syrup. It can be made with corn or rice, and you do see it a lot in Korean cooking. It serves the same purpose as corn syrup would, add some sweetness and glossiness, and in this dish it's I would say really necessary, but not too much. Again, just a 1/4 cup. And if you can't find oligodang, you can use corn syrup, of course. So my little secret ingredient, or not secret, is balsamic vinegar, which is absolutely not traditional, but I do love it because, as you can see, it's a very salty and sweet braising liquid, and I just wanted to break it up a little bit, just 2 tablespoons. And I wouldn't use your fancy balsamico here, just, you know, your standard version is fine. 1 to 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, just eyeball. And then we're going to give it a little mix. Oh, how could I forget? We also have black pepper, but I can add that in a sec. So basically you wanna make sure to dissolve both the sugar and the oligo syrup. And then to this, we're going to add a little bit of water. Okay, so it sounds like the water is ready. Oh yeah. So what we're going to do is carefully drop the chicken in here for 5 minutes. We'll give this colander a rinse and then drain the chicken once it's done parboiling. We'll be back in 5 minutes. So I just wanted to show what the water looks like. You can see that a lot of the scum has risen to the top. We're just going to dump this entire pot, chicken and water, into the sink, give the chicken a cold rinse, and then clean the pot and bring it back to the stovetop. Okay, so the chicken is back in its pot, with the rinsed out pot that is, and we're going to add the braising liquid straight to the pot as well. We'll see there's still some like undissolved sugar, so we're going to add a cup of water, add that in, and then put this over medium-high heat for 15 minutes. So I've also added the ginger, the garlic, and the chili, making sure that everything is fully submerged. And then we'll check back on this in about 15 minutes. You know, I love the lid slightly ajar. Let's do that for 15 minutes. So I know we're fighting with the setting sun, but there's one thing I wanted to show you while we wait for the chicken to cook. Get your favorite kitchen shears. Mine are from Material Kitchen. They're awesome. We've just drained the cellophane noodles, and they are usually presented in kind of a horseshoe shape like this. And I like to give them just one cut, because otherwise it's a little unwieldy when you eat, especially if you have little kids. You can just kind of you know, sit at the table for a good long while trying to get the whole noodle in one bite. So just cut it in half, no more than that. And yeah, just wait for the chicken to, in the meantime, I'm just checking on our skins. They're rendering. Give them a flip with another set of tongs if you have them. You're gonna do this a number of times. There's actually a lot of, I mean, this is basically all fat, so it's gonna get pretty fatty before we reach golden goodness. Okay, so we have about 3 minutes left on this initial 15-minute cooking, but I just wanted to take another peek at the chicken. Smells amazing. I wish you guys were here. And again, you can tell that the braising liquid is really seeping down into the chicken pieces. Remember we gave those chicken legs slits? This is precisely why. So just give everything a turn. This is like 2.5 minutes, and then we're going to introduce the vegetables. It's time to add the vegetables. Let me just grab this. Get everyone in the pot. I would lower the heat to a medium, and it's a braise, so the vegetables cook down with both the liquid and the steam that gets trapped in the pot. Okay, so I would cover the lid, and we'll see you guys in another 15. That's about how long the potatoes and carrot should take. Okay, going to check on the chicken. Basically, this stage is done once the potato is ready. Ooh. Let's see. Ooh. The color just looks so appetizing, doesn't it? I'm gonna get my trusty chopstick. Let's give it 2 or 3 more minutes. Okay, guys. Thanks for adapting with me with this ever-evolving light situation. I think the potatoes are almost done, and then we can add the noodles and the scallions, and we're 2 to 3 minutes away from completion. So let's take a look. Oh, baby. And chopstick. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay, so lower the heat just a touch. We're going to take the drained noodles, add them right into the pan with all the scallions. Can I do this one-handed? Yes. You want to press it down as much as you can into the sauce. And we're going to cover it with the lid again, kind of steam cook it for another 2 to 3 minutes. Remember, they've been soaking in water for a while, so they'll cook in no time. How could I forget our little bonus chicken skin that I've been frying next to the Jjimdak? Someone has been patiently or not so patiently. Oh, that's something you can have your own one.
I'm taking this one. Let me try it.
Sure. The crunch
this is
speaks.
Delicious. Crispy and salty.
Is it your favorite? Oh yeah. Get it gurgling away. Yeah, noodles are done. You can cut the heat. Finish with a little drizzle of sesame oil. Sesame seeds. And then freshly cracked pepper. So here's the final dish. It's steaming hot. Everything looks so well seasoned. I think I mentioned earlier that this is a chicken dish, but it really is about the potatoes. I'm gonna try to cut into one so you can see. They're so tender and fluffy, and they just soak up all that wonderful, wonderful sauce. The noodles as well. So I'm gonna try a bite, but you can also see that the chicken is just tender, falling off the bone. Delicious. You can serve it in a serving platter like this, or you can keep it in the pot. It's up to you. All you need is some rice and spoon over that braising liquid and enjoy. Our Jjimdak is done, and it looks so good and appetizing. The color just turned out perfectly. The potatoes are feathery soft. They managed to soak all that wonderful braising liquid. Salty, sweet, with a hum of heat from the dried chilies. The noodles also soaked up that great liquid. Thank you so much for watching me make my version of Jjimdak, and I hope you will make it too. Let me know if you do. Bye.